Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, Nigeria is a basket case. There's absolutely no question about that, and the people of the country are now using whatever they have to fight back. Guys, I bring you this. Lawyers signed petition to strip Agf Malami of S.A.N. rank over controversial amendment. Quite a tongue twister, but really the substance of it is that the lawyers in Nigeria are now moving against this guy Abubakar Malami. But then of course, whatever that controversial amendment is, and we will get into that in a moment, this guy should never have been a senior advocate of Nigeria in the first instance. That esteemed position should be reserved for people, not a guy, this Abubakar Malami, that can barely speak English. So again, the headline: lawyers sign petition to strip Agf Abubakar Malami of S.A.N. rank over controversial amendment. So now let's find out exactly what that controversial amendment is. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, has ignited the wrath of Nigerian lawyers following his amendment to the Rules of Professional Conduct for Legal Practitioners, RPC 2007. Malami reportedly removed the requirement for the Nigerian Bar Association stamp and seal on court processes. He was accused of taking the decision alone and creating room for non-lawyers to submit court processes. The amendment occurred less than a week after a splinter group known as the New NBA wrote a petition to Malami asking to be recognized by the federal government. The splinter group of mostly northern lawyers had emerged after Governor El-Rufai was removed from the list of speakers in the last NBA conference. So let's just pause there for a moment because you really need to digest that paragraph. Maybe I should reread it. The amendment occurred less than a week after a splinter group known as the New NBA wrote a petition to Malami asking to be recognized by the federal government. The splinter group of mostly, so this is where you are now paying attention, the splinter group of mostly northern lawyers had emerged after Governor El-Rufai was removed from the list of speakers in the last NBA conference. So that story was covered on this channel, of course, because this guy, by some mistake, was invited to come and speak at the Nigerian Bar Association annual conference, and all of the lawyers rebelled against it, that this guy that doesn't observe the rule of law and has turned himself to a demigod within Kaduna State and is just acting with arbitrariness should not be a person that should be allowed within their conference. So they dismissed him and withdrew that invitation. So off the back of that, the northern lawyers are never even knew that they had lawyers of a northern extraction. I thought they were all cattle rearers and sedentary farmers or whatever. I never knew they had lawyers there. But lawyers of northern extraction then decided to split away from the Nigerian Bar Association to form their own association. Now to assent to this move now that has been made by the northern lawyers, the Attorney General of the Federation, who is meant to be acting on behalf of the entirety of the Nigerian state, has now created a loophole for these people, for this splinter group that split away from the national body in protest against El-Rufai not being allowed to come and speak at lawyers' conference. So this splinter group now, he has created a loophole to legitimize them, and this of course has now drawn the wrath of the lawyers in Nigeria. So we carry on. In the petition started on change.org by Izu Ineagu, entitled "Signed to Strip Nigeria's Agf Abubakar Malami of the title of Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Malami's alleged wrongdoings, which led to the move to strip him of his S.A.N. title, highest rank for lawyers in Nigeria, were also listed. So here is now the summary of that petition. Since assumption of office, the Attorney General of the Federation has continued to go rogue. From his disobedience of court orders to his lackluster prosecution to his outright failure to prosecute to allegations of corruption and bias against his person to usurpation of office to shielding of suspects to his general dereliction of duty, the petition read. This time, the AGF has decided to take his imprudence to top notch by unilaterally deleting the provisions of the rules of professional conduct, which provides for stamp and seal, as well as a bar practicing fee for government lawyers. The AGF does not have such power. Section 12(4) of the LPA gives the General Counsel of the Bar power to make any such amendment and make other decisions concerning the MBA. There is no record of any meeting convened by the Attorney General of the Federation, who is the president of the Bar Council. The AGF took the decision alone, and his action constitutes a threat to the rule of law. His action is totally shameful and undeserving of a lawyer in the rank of senior advocate, let alone a chief law officer of the Federation. As at the time of filing this report, 973 lawyers have signed the petition. So the move is on, of course. I mean, this guy, as I said, should never have been the Attorney General of the Federation in the first place. And to be fair, he is not really the Attorney General of the Federation. He is simply Malam Buhari's lawyer, and that is all his function, because of course this is the guy that detained Showore outside the law. This is the guy that proscribed the Shiite movement. This is the guy that proscribed the IPOB movement, and this is the guy that legitimizes the Mieti Kutihari movement. So you can see the weight of his bias already. I mean, it's there for a blind man to see. This guy acts and acts alone on behalf of his paymaster, Malam Buhari, and his clansmen, the Fulanis, and their own interest is just continue to throw a blanket over the Niger Delta oil wealth and continue to milk it. So this is really their own objective, and you can see that already in the expose that was done on this Malami with all of the structures that is building all over the country. So the guy is only after his pocket and to serve and to kowtow to his paymaster Malam Buhari and nothing else, to the point now that because the Nigerian Bar Association refused to have that little man from Kaduna State come speak at their conference, it's now led to the Malamis deciding to break away and form their own lawyer association, which they can do. But then he, as the Attorney General of the Federation and person that sits at the top of the Bar Council, is now facilitating this split. And this is, of course, what has led to this petition. Conversations in the comment section, it doesn't rain, it pours within the Nigerian space, and it's now an avalanche. It's a controversy within the space. Come share thoughts. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done the clickings, come tell me then what you are making of this guy that can barely speak English but has found himself by some osmosis as the leader of the Nigerian legal structure. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.